Okay, good morning, friends. Shalom Aleichem, Ruchim Abam. We've got a lot to talk about today. Let's begin with today. Today is Chav Zayin ניסן. Chav Zayin ניסן is the Yahrtzeit of the Eretz Tzvi. The Eretz Tzvi of Kozhiglover. Rabbi Aryeh Tzvi Frumer from Kozhiglover. Who is he? Firstly, he was the Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshiva Chachmei Lublin after Rabbi Meir Shapiro passed away. When Rabbi Meir Shapiro passed away, they offered it to Rabbi Menachem Zemba. He didn't want it. The Eretz Tzvi, Rabbi Aryeh Tzvi Frumer, became the Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshiva Chachmei Lublin. He's the author of Shal Suchuvas Eretz Tzvi. He's also the author of Siach Hasadeh. He was a Talmud of the Avnei Nezer. My Zayda, my Elta Zayda, Rabbi Yehuda Leib Volman, was a Talmud of the Eretz Tzvi. Actually, in Shal Suchuvas Eretz Tzvi, Siman Pevav was a shaila from my great-grandfather to the Eretz Tzvi. So, the Reb Shmuel Halevi Vosner knew the Eretz Tzvi from Yeshiva Chachmei Lublin. He writes, he wrote a haskama to the Shal Suchuvas Eretz Tzvi when it was reprinted, and he writes in it that he was zocheh to be makir the Eretz Tzvi from the Gedolim of Poland, that the Eretz Tzvi was the Talmud Muvaka of the Avnei Nezer, and he was known to be a great Oved Hashem, davok to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and his tefillas were with devekos atzuma. So I want to tell you one chidush that he had, an unbelievable chidush. In the Roikeach Hagadol, the halachos of the Roikeach, the Baal Roikeach, Rabbi Lezer of Garmaiza. The Gemara in Brachos, Daf Yotes Amud Beis says, Roiv aroinos yesh bahem poiseach tefach. Most coffins have a tefach of hollow space. That's the statement of the Gemara. Most aroinos have a poiseach tefach, a tefach of empty space. So the question is, ask the Roikeach, so what if most of them have a poiseach tefach, but kol kavua k'mechza amechza dami? There are a minority that don't have this. And we know there's a rule when dealing with the majority and minority, if the minority is established, so then we treat it like 50-50. So what? Roiv aroinos yesh b'hem poiseach tefach, but kol kavua k'mechza amechza. So in the Shal Suchuvas Eretz Tzvi, Siman Tzadi Gimel, he brings an answer to this question. He says that when he was a Bachur in the yeshiva, I answered the kasha of the Roikeach based on the Sifri Zuta and Parshas Chukas. Hanoigeya b'meis tamei ve'ein meis atzmai tamei. If you touch a mace, you're tamei. The mace himself is not tamei. You know that? A dead body is not tamei. It just gives off tumah. When we say a mace is not v'avois hatumah, it's only in the sense that if you touch it, you become an avad tumah. But the mace itself is not tamei. That's what the Sifri says. We call it avi avois hatumah because if you touch it, you become an avad tumah. But the mace itself is not tamei. Well, says the Eretz Tzvi, if so, the tumah is not kavua, because the mace is tahar and has no tumah. The tumah is only mischadesh when you touch it. But the guy who's touching it is not kavua, he's coming from the Ruba Ba'alma. You can only consider kavua if the source of the issue has the issue, if the source of the issue only creates the issue when something comes into contact with it, we don't apply the rule of kol kavua k'mat samach sadami. But the Eretz Tzvi is not finished. He said, I went to the Goin of the time, Rabbi Yosef Engel. And Rabbi Yosef Engel was very impressed with my Chidush. And he wrote it down, and he wrote it in my name. And then Rabbi Yosef Engel wrote a sefer, Gol Yoinei Ashas, you could look it up. Gol Yoinei Ashas Brachos Yates, where he quotes the Eretz Tzvi saying this teretz. Actually, the Rabbi Yosef Engel gave a haskama to the Eretz Tzvi sefer Siach Hasadeh. He says, I recognize him very well as a clear thinker an amkan, someone with great prowess to plumb the depths of halacha, and that the sefer will be a great toyalis for those who learn it. Okay. By the way, in the biography, in the Kunshus HaToilados, which is printed at the end of the third chelek of Eretz Tzvi, he brings that when the Eretz Tzvi was machnes his son Avram David to the bris of Avram Avinu, his son, Eretz Tzvi's son, was killed in the Holocaust. Rabbi Yosef Engel was the sandik. He was Mechaved Rabbi Yosef Engel to be the sandik. Anyway, that's a Chidush of the Eretz Tzvi on his Yahrtzeit Chav Zayin ניסן. תהי נשמת tzura b'tzara chaim.